So just this past weekend, a movie came out that possibly overexceeded my expectations on so many different levels. It's absolutely got the director, it's got the director of photography, it's got the writers, it's got the composers, it's got the cast and crew, all of that. It has everything. And of course, I'm talking about that movie, My Little Pony 2049. It's that new film from Denis Villeneuve, who, just like all the other film nerds out there, believe that this guy is one of the best directors working today. Now, this is the man that made Prisoners, Enemy, Arrival, Sicario, and I have yet to see Ensandi, but I know right after I make this video, I am gonna watch that shit on torrent. Well, maybe not on torrent, maybe like rent it online or something, because I want to support Denny, and that is essentially what this man needs right now, because I'll get to that in a second. So what did I think of the new Blade Runners? Well, just like the original, I think it's an absolute technical masterpiece, and it's absolutely one of the best cinematic experiences I've had in recent memory. The movie had a great story with a couple flaws here and there that I ended up forgiving because it's nowhere near to perfection. The visuals were a treat to the human senses, the acting was great, it just had everything in there that you want in a movie. It's like this movie was set up to be a success. It also explores a couple new themes to its predecessor in that in no way, shape, or form does it disrespect what the original Blade Runner did, and I think it's one of the most artistic approaches to a science fiction film that I've seen this decade. And I've seen this movie twice in theaters already, and I plan to see it a third time, and then I'm done with the movie at that point because movies cost money to go see, and I'm not made of money. And speaking of movies that are set up for success, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that kind of makes me sad. I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything, but upon thinking about this topic, it's something worth talking about. Now, as you guys may know, this new Blade Runner is performing very poorly at the box office with a domestic gross of $37 million, but worldwide at $86 million, which in my opinion, it's not absolutely terrible, but I mean, there's still a better chance of a better word of mouth getting out and more people are gonna go see it. The same thing happened with Mad Max Fury Road. It didn't do well the opening weekend at the box office, but the numbers increased as the weeks went on. A more recent example would be Darren Aronofsky's Mother, which, although not a complete box office failure, but it's nowhere near to be claimed as a box office success either. And it may seem that I'm coming across as like the guy who's saying, oh, you know what, box office numbers means everything in the movie industry, and you know what? I'm saying this right now, I'm not saying that whatsoever. Because there are those rare occasions where a movie doesn't do well at the box office, but they end up being hailed as classics later down the line. And fun fact, that was the original Blade Runner. But basically what I'm trying to say is, for one, movies don't need to make a lot of money for it to be considered a good movie. It's really all up to the audience. There seems to be like this weird mindset where people think that if a movie makes more money than another, then it automatically makes it a better movie, which I do not believe that whatsoever. I believe that movies should be judged based on the amount of effort being put into every aspect of filmmaking. Some excel at that and some others don't, because you have different creators, thus you create different outcomes. But it is very sad to think that another rated R movie like 50 Shades Darker, which is actually on my top 10 worst movies of the year list, performed way better than Blade Runner 2049.
Have dinner with me.
Okay, fine, I will have dinner with you, because I'm hungry. But we are only talking, and that is it.
A film where they clearly don't give a shit compared to a film where they actually does give a shit on what it's trying to represent. Now, the Emoji Movie is making more money than Blade Runner 2049. Guys, we cannot let this happen. Which, again, it's different target audiences, which you get different results, because you have parents that take little screaming Timmy running down the movie theater that's not really paying attention to the movie, yet it's able to snag more numbers than Blade Runner. Because parents aren't going to go take little Timmy to see the giant naked purple hologram girl on the movie screen where they have to look at emojis. Again, the more money that it makes, it doesn't mean that it's a better film. Okay, so what makes a movie a box office bomb? Okay, so you have some factors in there that include competition that's going up against that same weekend, which it went up against My Little Pony, so that's some pretty mean competition. Another factor could be a negative word of mouth, but so far, like, all the movie websites and even YouTube are hailing Blade Runner 2049 as a science fiction masterpiece. And you also have the commercial advertisements for any upcoming film, which could potentially affect any of the results in the box office. You also get those situations where you get a group of people who don't really follow film or they don't really care. Sometimes they go out of their way to go to the movie theater and watch a specific movie just for the fact that it's being advertised correctly. And so far, like, from what I'm seeing, is that I don't believe that the people of that group didn't really go out of their way to see Blade Runner. And it's possibly due to the advertising. The people probably just found out that a new Blade Runner sequel has just been made, let alone them not even knowing the first one even existed, or they even hated the first one. So them knowing that, and it's a sequel, so they'll go like, why would I waste my time with this one if I haven't even seen the original, or I really just hate the original? Now, all of these factors could come into play, but this also traces back to a quote that Mark Hamill once said that I believe it fully encaptures on what the film industry is today.
I hope people are happy. It seems like, because in Hollywood, remember, kids, it's not important if it's of high quality, only if it makes money. Most people are disparaging of that particular franchise, but they keep making them because they make huge amounts of money. And oh my God, I just realized this is all on film.
Only if it makes money, which is kind of a downside because that's what it seems like to be in Hollywood nowadays, because with all these action blockbusters or the superhero movies, which I enjoy from time to time, don't get me wrong, but these are exactly what the higher ups want to do. They want to make a profit off the project that they want to make. Sometimes they take chances every now and then, some more successful than others, but that's really the sad truth about some art films. They don't really appeal to the mass audience, but instead they go for something a little bit deeper within its story. Thus, it's hurting them financially. Although I'm kind of not too upset about Blade Runner 2049 underperforming, I'm kind of glad that it is, because maybe years down the line it will be considered as a masterpiece just like Mad Max Fury Road, or even like they won't even attempt to make a franchise off of this based on its underperformance. But if you're curious on seeing Blade Runner 2049, I suggest going to your local movie theater and just go and see it. Support Denis Villeneuve and the cast and crew, because Denis is going to remake Dune. If he does that and he succeeds at that, he is going to be a science fiction god. So that's basically all I have to say about this situation, because it's kind of sad when you compare other movies on, how much more money that they made, even though it doesn't really make a difference. But you know that a movie is lesser quality than another, but that one made more money and this one didn't. It kind of scratches you a little bit. But I also want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. Does it bug you, or do you just not really care? We can have that discussion in the comment section down below, and I'll leave every single social media link I have, such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, in the description box down below as well. Keep in contact with me, guys, and as always, may the Force be with you.